So what you've heard now is basically an opening statement. This is what you can expect to see when we get to court to actually have a full trial on the merits, to actually show this evidence in court and prove our case. This is not a Law and Order episode where everything is neatly wrapped up in 60 minutes.
Well, of course, that's what the media wants. The bottom line is the media is going to ignore all this anyway. Not us, though. That's Jenna Ellis, of course, ripping into the media naysayers who've been hounding the president's campaign for proof of widespread voter fraud. Today, the campaign, as we've said, dropped a bomb on the left, detailing some of the evidence they have been able to compile so far, and it is damning. We've been telling you on this program about the problems with the Dominion voting systems and how many investigators believe their software is designed expressly to cheat. Dominion voting, of course, denies that profusely. But they also profusely deny to come on this program. I've asked them 4 times now. The president's attorney, Sidney Powell, said we are talking about systematic, widespread fraud allegedly committed by Dominion voting systems, which has ties with communist Venezuela and liberal donor, aspiring radical social engineer George Soros. That's what they allege. Powell insists the statistical anomalies all point to the fact that our election was deliberately manipulated in favor of Joe Biden. So why is no one talking about this? Why is no one investigating this? Well, Rudy Giuliani said it best like this.
Where are you, FBI?
And nothing's happened as a result of it.
I don't know where the FBI has been for the last 3 years. I have no idea where the FBI has been for the last 4 years. I don't know where they are now. Our country has had its ballots counted, calculated, and manipulated in a foreign country with a company controlled by friends of an enemy of the United States. What do we have to do to get the FBI to wake up?
Well, the FBI has been very troubling, to say the least, over the last few years. We need the FBI, but again, this is the president's greatest challenge. Who can he trust? I'm not sure there's anybody in Washington he can trust, including the FBI. So what does it take to find the evidence needed to prove the election was rigged electronically? To discuss this, I'm joined by retired U.S. military intelligence officer assigned to the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, Stephen Rogers. Stephen, welcome to the program.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So, Stephen, I'm sure it can't feel great for me to say, where is the FBI? Giuliani to say, where is the FBI? But I'll ask you, you worked alongside him. Where's the FBI?
You can't trust them anymore. James Comey made sure of that. The fact of the matter is that Mayor Giuliani, probably the best prosecutor on planet Earth, just remember, he brought the mob down in New York City. For them to disregard and not even call him in, requesting that he present to them the evidence he has so that they could proceed with an investigation is just astounding to me. But saying that, Mayor Giuliani, he has the evidence. Shame on the mainstream media. You don't, as a good prosecutor or investigator, bring your evidence between a jury of the public out in public. You hold on to it. You bring it before court where it should be brought, and therein lies the beginning of the prosecution. Mayor Giuliani is.
All right, so let me ask you as an investigator. What needs to happen? Hopefully there's a state agency someplace. Maybe there's an FBI agent who says, I've got to look into this. It's going to take cyber forensic experts to get into the back end of these systems. Do you think that's happening anywhere when it comes to this election fraud that they alleged?
Oh, yes, I believe that it is happening. And I do believe that the FBI will be, if not quietly, is beginning to investigate. Because what Mayor Giuliani did was bring some elements to the floor that they have no choice but to now investigate. For example, you need a representation of fact in order to begin an investigation like this. And Mayor Giuliani brought that representation of fact. Look, people were given bad information at the polls. There were mailing ballots that were missing. There were people who were not told the truth at these polling places. When were they made? Where were they made? Who were they made to? These misrepresentations. He has it all. So to answer your question directly, you're darn right. He's got enough there right now to go before court. And don't be surprised if the court say, you know what? The FBI, step it up. You need to investigate this.
Yeah, and so what do you make from an investigative standpoint when you hear Sidney Powell say things like the Dominion voting system's in office in Toronto, not only allegedly tied somehow to George Soros, but packing up and move? They can't find executives. They got LinkedIn profiles being deleted all over the place. What does this say to you as an investigator?
Hey, it sounds like during my 38 years in law enforcement, when we were hot on the trail, people were packing it in and running for the hills. So they're running, but they're going to get caught. And all you need is one. There's always a weak link. And the investigators who will be leading the charge will find the weak link. Look, you don't run unless you have something to hide. That's my view. That has been my experience.
One of the things that I've always seen investigating things like this is that, certainly in something like this, it takes a lot of people to commit the fraud that's being alleged here. Somebody's going to roll on somebody, and once that happens, the house of cards will start to fall. Stephen Rogers, thank you for your service to this country, and of course, thanks for coming on tonight, Stephen.
And thank you. My pleasure.